Hey guys, and welcome back to another video. Today we want to take a look at a couple of bases of this weekend we used, and I want to explain to you guys what exactly is important in the current meta. And for all of you guys who are just here for grabbing the base and heading out, the base links are down below in the description. But if you want to learn a little bit more about base building, understanding the game a little bit better, and what clan castle you might want to use with those bases, well, you might want to stick around. So what we're going to do in this video is I will first show you guys the base, explain it more why exactly this base is set up like it is, and then we'll show the attack of the opponent which he used on the base. So let's get into it, let's get started. And I mean, for all of you guys who haven't already figured out yet, we sadly dropped out against Darkest Muzan. Really unfortunate, especially with winning against the overall winner in the first round. Really unfortunate. It's a little bit frustrating, I guess, with winning the group stage undefeated and then going to the semifinals and losing one match and dropping out. It is what it is, I guess. It's totally on us. Like, even with the 14 stars of Darkest Muzan, I think we could have had the perfect war, even though this sounds kind of strange maybe. But if you're rewatching all of the attacks, which we won't do in this video, you guys can see on every single attack there was a small mistake. Maxi saving 6 loons and it's a triple. Me dropping the king and the funnel correctly and it's a triple. And so on. With Lex, with the zaps, the warden ability. With Nick, it was like he changed one freeze into, or like he changed the haste into a freeze and would be a triple. It's super unfortunate, but it is what it is. Sometimes the others are coming out on top. We have still plenty of chances to get into the World Championship, so we would keep trying. But for now, let's take a look at a couple of the bases. So on the first one, we want to take a look at the base which Maxi used. And since I put all of the traps down on this one, I kind of know on how exactly you have to look at the base. Even though I think all of you guys should know by now, we have an external base building team. And they're building all of the bases for us, and then we're tweaking them. That's kind of the thing how we work. And all of those traps on this base we placed, like completely changed up with the placement. And I will talk you through why exactly we choose those places for the traps. But the first thing you have to take a look at the current meta is take a look at the clan castle and what is surrounding the clan castle. Because whenever you're having high valuable defenses, for example like a queen, an eagle, scattershot, things like that next to the clan castle, you might consider the enemy are going to do a zap quake entry. This is one of the most used strategies, I would say, in the higher leagues. I think the follow-up is not that easy to execute. This is why it's not used that much. But if you can pull it off, it's crazy strong. So let's take a look at the surroundings of the clan castle. What you could zap is something like this. What you could zap is something like this. All of those things are working, but at the same time you guys can see it's not too much value. Yes, you could zap a scattershot, great for you, but there's a bomb tower and a storage next to it, so you do not get any other value. So this is not really too nice zap value like, so this is why most of the people wouldn't do it, since there's no reason to, because people are always trying to get like more value out of it, which is kind of understandable. So this is why we didn't really thought too much about this entry or like any entries around that. Now let's talk about entries which we did think about. First off, charges. Queen charge hybrid, queen charge Lalo, I don't know what, like all of those crazy things which you can do. And what people normally try to do at the moment is trying to charge either on the other side of the Inferno Towers or straight into a Inferno Tower. Those are the two main things which people can do. So, into the Inferno Tower. Let's try it over here. And that's one thing which we tried and it isn't working at all. Like, you cannot control where queen is going. Left, right, top, down, whatever. It's really hard to control. And if the queen is going, for example, not the perfect way and this single Inferno Tower is frying your queen down, it's not the best thing you can happen to you. So this option is no option. The next thing which could happen is I don't like a charge maybe over here. So this would be something like the back or a follow up. But there's so many freaking traps around here and heroes and everything. So this would be so hard to get through. So this is no option either. So then we thought about something, okay, let's try to charge into another Inferno Tower, and that was the next thing. So this charge is, I think, from people who are doing queen charge hybrid, maybe kind of obvious. So we tried to like test that, and one thing, it could work. So that's what we did. We just placed tons of traps against that, which means for the hybrid part, for example, spring trap over here, someone's coming in with hybrid from over here, spring trap, spring trap, spring trap, and you could like keep going with the double giant bomb and so on. So there are a lot of traps against this entry, and at the same time there are tons of black ones as well on this entry, and it's not that easy to get through that wall because the super wall breaker is always running onto the running on top of the spring trap and it's getting spring trapped away. So it's kind of risky to do that, but even if you try it, it's most of the time not working. The next thing is what you could do. You could try to like double layer wall break in here, but that's not working because this compartment is open over here. So the wall break would target this wall, but the wall break would not target this wall. And this is how we can play around with like different compartments and everything. But yeah, that was kind of the thought process behind that. But I think before we're investing too much time into the first base, let's just take a look at what Vale did on this one. And he actually did a zap quake onto this base. So we thought it wouldn't get too much value, but I guess because he went with mass Hawk Riders, the bomb tower wasn't too bad, I guess. So that was his approach. Then the next thing is actually that it's not that easy to get the Townhall after that, because the Townhall is kind of deep inside, it's surrounded by the Expos, which you can't zap. So there are 2 Expos and a scatter shot and a Royal Champion, which are all protecting the Townhall. So it's really, really deep inside, and you can't really get the Townhall that easily. So what he's trying now, he's trying to support his heroes with a ram, just to make sure that he's adding this little bit of extra power into this. But now something's happening which he didn't predict, and this is the tornado placement. A lot of players try to like get into the Townhall kind of quickly with like a Yeti smash, things like that. So this tornado trap was kind of nice, and on this attack, it kind of rotates away the super goblins, which were supposed to get the Townhall down, and now the queen is dying and the Townhall is not dropping, and this means this attack is already doomed. From this point on, he can't do too much since his opener failed, and yes, I was at the same point as well. So if your opener is failing like this, it's really hard to come back from. So not much he can do. This is why we would just watch this in doubles, like even quadruple speed. And you guys can see all of the spring traps are hitting. Even the headhunters got spring trapped away. So yeah, not much he could do over here. Had the Royal Champions dying, and this was one of the lowest percentage attacks. And this one saved us the war against Altair in the first one. And yeah, so if you guys want to try it on your own. It did defend Yeti Smash pretty decent as well. So yeah, try it if you want to. But I have one more base for you guys. I have one more base, and yes, even though we lost this war, one base was not triple. So let's take a look at this base real quick, and then we'll show you guys the replay as well. On this one, once again, try to limit the zap value. On this one, you could zap those buildings. Yes, you get 2 expos, but at the same time, 2 expos are not that great. You want to have scatter shot, you want to have the enemy queen, you want to have, I don't know, like the eagle. Things like that are your main target. So if you would like to zap that, that's not getting you too much. The next thing, you could zap the core, which is kind of nice and it's pretty decent pathing, but that's it. Not too much either. So that's kind of it. And yeah, it's not that, it's not that easy to zap anything on this one. The next thing is, we did not, or like we expected that someone would charge if someone would charge from the top side. And this is why you can see in this entire marked place kind of the top side, there isn't a single spring trap. All of the spring traps are lined up at the bottom to make sure that if someone is charging the Townhall, the hybrid is not making it anywhere. So obviously those one-sided traps are always like some sort of a gamble. So if someone was figuring out some sort of charge into the bottom side, it would work maybe. But the main thing is you have only, in those tournaments, you have only 15 minutes and then you have to do your first attack. So you do not have that much timing or like that much time for plan. Like to create the plan to kind of charge into Inferno Tower and then maybe follow up whatever. So it's kind of complicated, and this is why most of the people are doing like more simple charges, and this is just like getting somewhere in at the top side. And yeah, So let's try and let's see what Juicy P did, because on this base, which you figured out as well, there are a lot of earthquake entries. You could earthquake into the core, you could earthquake into the core, you could earthquake the core itself, but there's a problem. On this base, I would highly suggest for you guys to run a Lava Hound. Lava Hound with, I don't know, like Inferno Dragon, Lava Hound with Headhunters, that's totally up to you, but important is a Lava Hound. The reason for that is, if you have a Lava Hound in there, it will make sure that your queen is stuck to one place and she can't move, and this means most of the time the healers will be pushed back or like will stay on the queen and will not switch. And with having the earthquake into the core, all of the Yetis will like run ahead and will just die out. We can see that in a second perfectly on this base. So taking out the single Inferno Tower, so far so good. Everything's looking fine for him. Now the fun at the top side. Yetis are coming in. Super Wall Break to make sure that he's entering the base. And what is he doing next? Super Wall Breaker in. And now the earthquake for the core in a second, I think. And let's take a look how exactly this is working. So CC is coming out. So far so good. Poison is getting deployed. Lava Hound is now getting targeted by the queen. Earthquake is open. And now let's take a look at the boulders and everything. First off, the tornado trap caused too much delay for the boulders, and now they all ran into the into the Townhall bomb, and everything is dead. Like there's nothing left in the core anymore because of the combination of the tornado trap and then the Lava Hound making sure that the healers stick to the queen. This combination of that space is crazy and is defending Yeti Smash pretty well. And yeah, on the back end, now the Hawk Riders will come in from the Siege Barracks. The Tesla farm did really well as well, trying to defend like mainly the Hawk Riders and the Siege Barracks over there. Now the Hawk Riders getting into a double giant bomb right away, losing a lot of hit points, and then right away into the bomb tower where all of them are going to die. So this is kind of the setup of the base. It's worked really well for us. And yeah, if you want to give it a try, make sure I post both base links down below in the comments. I hope you guys liked today what I were able to tell you. And like I said, you always need to kind of prepare the CC for your base. On this one, I would highly suggest for you guys to run a Lava Hound. On the other one, I think I would go with the Lava Hound as well, just because it's pretty strong right now. But that's it for today's video. I hope you guys enjoyed the bases. I hope they will do really well for you guys. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you guys back tomorrow. Until then, see ya and bye bye.